Welcome back to the Off Duty Sports Podcast, Part 2. We're trying something a little bit different. That's Danny. I'm Upham. In Part 2, we're going to be talking a little bit about the NBA playoffs. I know we had started to talk a little bit about it in the first episode, but I have, as you guys have seen in past episodes, I'm very hot when it comes to the certain types of play in the NBA. So I didn't want to dive too much into that when it got brought up, but we'll dive into that. We'll talk about the Knicks heading to the NBA Finals. We'll do some card pulls. We'll talk some Memorial Day activities, foods, and then we'll do let's do a little bit of a recap on podcast episode 1 in terms of
Yes.
the Patriots schedule.
Yes. I was very hard on the Patriots. My take was I don't think they're going to do very well this year just because the teams that are playing, I think they're going to struggle with them. I think that the drama surrounding that Patriots, I think it's going to affect them. As of now, I think I have them going 10 and
You have them, yeah, 10-7.
7. 10 and 7. And I think that's a very fair assessment compared to last year when they pretty much played every easiest team in the NFL. So, with that being said, Upham, what do you have them
Yeah.
at?
Yeah, so for me, I know the argument is always going to be made that Drake May, is a second year guy. He's going to be going into his third season. It's always like this is not Tom Brady we're talking about. Although there's always the comparison to Tom Brady early in careers. I've seen it with Mac Jones. I've seen it with any quarterback that comes into the Patriots organization. We always seem to go back to, is this the next Tom Brady? So there's always a high expectation and bar set for these new quarterbacks coming in. But as we saw with Mac Jones, he comes in, he's highly touted. He's going to be great. Terrible. He has spurts and moments. Drake May, again, I'm feeling like really confident with him, but I could be blinded by the fact that he made it to the Super Bowl this past year. I know you don't feel the same way.
They said the same thing about Garoppolo. So I mean, they matter of fact,
True.
they made more comparisons about Garoppolo to Tom Brady than they have anybody else because of the size and how similar they are, all that stuff. So I've heard the same thing for every QB that you guys have ever had. It's so annoying to hear. But yes, no, I don't think they're going to do as well. I think, but I'm not saying that they're trash, and I'm not saying I think 10 wins is a fair amount of wins. It's playoff.
Yeah.
It's that makes it the playoffs. I think that again, that's on the contingent that Buffalo, I think, is going to beat them out both times. I just think that's again, I think that the start of the season really matters. I think that you losing to the team that you guys lost to in the Super Bowl is going to matter. I think those things are going to matter. So we're going to see if I'm right, and I'm hoping I'm right because as I told him, I don't want to suffer another 6 years of them winning Super Bowls again. I don't want to go through that again.
I don't think anybody wants that.
No, nobody does. No one
I
does.
do.
I want to. I'm not going to watch football anymore. So, like,
No,
literally,
it's tough to digest knowing that all these teams keep making it to the playoffs, or maybe they'll rotate through the Super Bowl time frames, but the Patriots always seem to find a way back there, and the turnaround's so quick this time that it's hard for other team
I'm not.
fans to digest that.
I'm not on that train. I don't. I don't. I think Drake May's good. I'm not saying he's not good. I think he's an above average QB. I just don't think it's gonna happen again. It just can't happen again. This is just it's insane. And I'm here to say it first. It's coming here first. This is gonna be such a trend. People are gonna follow us based on my wise words and not yours.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. No,
I
I
just-
want to I want to bring in all the New England Patriots out there. I want them to support me in this because at the end of the day, I view Drake May as the next Tom Brady. Maybe not to the level that Tom Brady was, because there's so many better quarterbacks, in my opinion, out there. You got your Joe Burrows, you got your Patrick Mahomes is still around. Justin Herbert is still a very solid guys. You got young guys that are coming up, so it's very difficult to compare the two. But skill wise, and the way that the offense is run right now, so far in his career, he's only shown me that he's going to progress every year. So if he continues to progress, I can't see him not returning to the playoffs and making another deep run. I just can't, and I know that hurts.
he's gonna make the playoffs. I'm not saying he's not gonna make the playoffs because you guys have another easy schedule this year. It is
Oh
insane
no,
how
no,
much they want to give you guys just like free Super Bowls. Apparently, there's like, oh, we're gonna make this the easiest schedule for the Patriots ever. Like we're like even this year is still easy. Like you just have a couple added in there, sprinkled in there to make us think that you're not gonna you guys aren't gonna go to the playoffs again. It's like No, it's like you guys are going against the Miami Dolphins, I think, twice, and you guys are going against the Jets twice. Like already right there is just that's
That's
4 games already right there that are just like served to you. Just like free games. Here's some free wins for you guys. I don't have there's no other teams that are like that have that like that there's just not very many teams that have that like easy of a schedule. That's insane that you guys go against them twice.
well, I haven't looked at the other schedules, but I mean, the benefit of having a weak division, two teams, Miami and the Jets, have been
Ugh.
terrible forever. And it's been the same forever. Unfortunately, yeah, we have the Buffalo, and they were terrible for a while as well.
For
But,
a while.
you
No,
know, it is
Buffalo's
what it is.
really stepped up. There it is
Oh,
that
yeah.
is again, it's going to be a fun team to do this year. To watch this year, I mean. Um but yeah, so
But yeah, I
we're
mean, just despite our disagreements, we're only a game off in our
we are.
predictions for next year. So that's not bad. We do disagree on who they'll win or lose to. So we'll see how this next season shapes up, and
I'm
if
really
I'm on the
hoping I'm
right
right.
side
I
or
really
not.
hoping I'm right this year. I think I have a good I'm willing to I'm actually willing to bet on my stuff. I'm willing to have Yama like put I'm telling you I'm gonna have him do it. Make those little cards for me and I'm gonna I think I can win. I think I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think I could be right on those. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, that was a little bit of a recap on part one of this two-part series here. But yeah, let's jump into some cards. Yeah, I got my three packs as well. Again, we're pulling Bowman prospect cards here. So, Danny, you want to kick it off?
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say this right now though. If I don't get one pull that's decent from here, this is the last time I'm buying Bowman. I'm just gonna say that right now. Bowman has been terrible to me. I have not gotten one good pull. I've not gotten a numbered card. I haven't gotten anything good. Um,
Wow.
Nothing. So we're gonna find out right now if this is the last time I buy this card. So
So, just to recap on the part one, I pulled a Connor Griffin here, which as if you don't know who this guy is, pretty much you shouldn't be following baseball. But one of the best prospects out there. And I also pulled a Shohei Otani
I can't believe
here.
you pulled that too. That's insane. All right, so I got an Andrew Fisher. Woo! CJ Kfis. Woo! Eric Hartman.
Oh,
Oh
geez.
my gosh. And Seaver King.
Okay, Seaver's
Yeah,
not bad.
that's the only one I mean, that was the one of the special backgrounds. I mean, like that's not terrible, but that's not good either. So I'm not really like
I,
not
I
really
wouldn't
happy
tip,
about that pool.
I wouldn't typically show base cards, but I did get another Shohei Otani in a
Of
base
course you did.
card. So I just
That's like a $10 card even right there. Like just because it's the base card. So dumb. That's so
uh,
dumb that his cards are just that insane. Already he's
all
beating
right.
me already. This might I think maybe Seaver might be the only one that I got that was okay. James
Yeah, so
Conhines. He's
it's whatever
I don't
for
know
him.
him.
I actually like this guy. I just picked him up in my Dynasty Fantasy League.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he could be really good. Strikes out a ton of guys, and then I got base cards after that. Cole Emerson, who's good, and then not a whole lot
Okay.
after that.
So I mean, I think we're probably neck and neck there because I think that Seaver King with that background makes up for your Otani. Because like I said, it's like
Hmm.
a $10 card right there. I think that Seaver might be about 10. Let me see. Okay, so we got a Justin Gonzalez,
Okay,
Freddie Freeman.
there you go. Okay,
It's the one you got of not as nice as Otani's, but
show your other camera.
oh shoot,
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. That's nice.
yeah, it's one like you got. That's not terrible. I'm happy. I like Freddie Freeman. Kendry Carrillo, Carrillo. I've never heard of that guy.
Churio.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he's not bad.
and Kenley Hunter. That's all I got right there. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Man, this
All
is
right, so I
they hate me. Bowman hates me, man. Bowman
got a
hates me.
Jacob Wilson, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Those are base cards. I got Truitt Mundana, not great, whatever.
I've
Blake
heard of him.
Mitchell, it's whatever. And then J.R. Ritchie base card, not bad. That's about it for that pack.
All right, last pack magic. Last pack magic. Let's see if I got
It's,
anything amazing here. It's already not looking good. I'm just sorry. That's already gonna make me mad. Tarek Scooble.
he's good.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's I recognize his name. Esteban Mejia. Esteban. Let's see. Luis Arana, and then Felnin Celestin, and that is it. That is the last time I buy a Bowman anything.
Unfortunately,
I've
I
been.
think as well. I got here a Nick Kurtz. So Nick,
Oh, your camera's messing up a little bit up. Give it 1 second, guys. Give it 1 second. It's gonna even out here. Okay, there we go. All right, Nick Kurtz, we got that.
yeah, so as a rookie, he hit 40 home. Fantastic player, like great player, and Aiden Miller,
Okay,
whatever. Franklin Arias is one of the top prospects for Boston this year,
okay.
so he's solid. And oh, all right,
Dude, you've got to be freaking kidding me right now. Is that out of 25?
let me check. Five. Gavin Fiend, 7 out of 25.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're gonna piss me off. That's super annoying. That is super annoying. Gosh, I hate you so much. Of course, you get.
Wow,
I'm not. Well, that's the last time I'm buying. I'm not buying. I'm not buying any more Bowman. That's the last one. That's it for me.
that's a nice one right there out of 25.
Yeah,
Not
that's a
not the
really
best of players, but
no. But
still.
even at
Oh,
25, you're talking about like a minimum of like a $40 card. If he's an average player, that's a $40 card right there, just sitting there. I mean, at least you got part of your money back. I mean, with the Shohei Otanis and with all the other crap that you got, I mean, like that's not bad at all, man. That's really good. All right. Well, that's great. Love that. Love not pulling nothing. I love just getting a bunch of junk. Like one card was okay for me. Wonderful. That's just wonderful.
so I'm
Okay.
on. What is that? A streak of what?
Yeah,
How many
you're
pack
you're
battles have I won?
yeah, you're beating me by far. It's not even close right now. It's
Damn.
yeah, I think I don't
A
even.
Danny Luck,
I think I got one on you. I think that was it out of the
the
five,
first
six
one, the very
episodes. Yeah,
first.
6 episodes. You beat me every time though. So or 5 episodes. You beat me now. So yeah, we're right now we're five. He's 5-1 right now. So that's
Looking
wonderful.
good.
Love that.
It's
Love
looking
losing to
good.
Upham. It's wonderful.
Oh, jeez. All right, well, let's dive into some NBA. I know,
Yeah,
you've been definitely wanting to talk a little bit about this in the series. Your team is still in it. You wanted San Antonio. You
yeah.
liked where they were at early in the playoffs, coming into the playoffs, and here they are with a game 7 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, what's your take on it? What are your thoughts so far?
I think it's. I think that they're playing better right now than OKC. I think they're playing better than OKC right now. And the reason why I say that is because the only time OKC has been winning, and the commentators have also a lot of the commentators from ESPN have also said the same thing. And this is what I was saying already prior, but because I think they're a great team. I think I want Wemby to do well. I just think in general I want him to I would love for him to win. I would love for him to win. I think this will be a really cool thing to see just because he's such a big prospect player. He's like everyone's favorite player right now just to watch. He's fun to watch. I got to watch highlights of him just this last week, and I was like, he actually plays really good. It's weird seeing him play because you don't think he could move, and that dude could. That dude knows how to move really well. Matter of fact, one of these times when we talk about it, we're gonna have to do some highlights or something like that because there's some really good stuff that he does, and I'm just like, he just looks like he moves like a slow giant, but he just does not. He's quick, man. He knows how to shoot too. So it's really interesting to see someone who's able to do multiple things. As tall and as large as that guy is, really, I mean, really skinny guy, but just lanky. It's just I wouldn't guys that I've normally seen that size move super slow, like just are just
Yeah.
slow to do everything, and it's just weird seeing him like play the way he does. So it's been very fun. I hope they win. It really just comes down to the fact that if the refs give, what's his face,
SGA. Yeah.
SGA. I don't even know how to say his name. It's such a weird
Shea
Shea
Gilgis
Gillis.
Alexander.
Yeah, Shea Gilgis Alexander. If they give him his fouls, which has been I think a mockery to the NBA. I think that they need to shut that down real fast. The fact that they're doing that just to win, the commentators also said that the only way that they're going to win is if because he got like 17 points in free throws
Yeah.
last or yesterday's game or 2 games ago, not last game because they won San Antonio won last game, but the game before that he got 17 fouls or 17 free throws or 17 points from just free throws alone, I believe, and that's insane for a game, that really puts an edge. Like, that's how many times is he gonna get fouled? Like, it's so unfair, and it doesn't make the NBA look good, and I'm sorry, as a final, no one wants to see that going into the finals. No one wa I don't want to see that as the last game. I don't wanna see that as the last ever. Like, I no one wants to see that. I don't care what team it is. A team that's, like, cheating or, like, essentially cheating, I think that no one wants to see that person those people win. It's just I think it'd really ruin the NBA if they get past this game.
Do you feel like SGA, so he won MVP for the second year in a row. Do you think he is worthy of MVP knowing that this is his style of game?
Well, I think that his numbers are inflated, and because his numbers are inflated, it's partly because of his free throw points. If I think that maybe there should be a way to, if we subtract all his free throw points or foul points from his total amount, will he still be the number one? Will he still be an MVP contender if you take away all his foul points? Because if his foul points total up to a number that's obscene compared to everybody else, I think that that's a complete unfair thing to do. I don't think that you should count points that you get from fouls if you're going to be an MVP player. Like, if you're getting 17 points a game just from free, just from, and he's already a good player. Like, I'm not knocking on the fact. Like, I watch him play when he does well. When he doesn't, when he doesn't get fouled, you know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
watch him play, and he plays well. But does he play better than I think Wemby? No, I don't think he plays better than Wemby. I think that he's above average player, but I think that he's doing terrible the whatever they're trying to invent this new thing in that with that team, OKC doing it all of them are doing it now, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fun to watch. It's not even like, and it's like, if that's what it's going to turn into, I don't know what the NBA is going to do, because if that's going to just be a terrible look for them.
Oh, 100%. So I had the same issue when the Knicks played the Celtics last year in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson was like he'd go up for a fake shot, the guy would go up to block it, and then he would jump into the defender and then take a shot as well. So he's getting the free shot
Oh,
off,
and they
but
get the
he's
free
also getting
shot.
the free,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, he'd get the shot off because it's in the air, and then he's throw line. So if he obviously hits, it's an and one. If he doesn't hit, whatever, no harm, no foul. I get two free throw shots. So Jalen Brunson really kind of is one that I noticed last year. SGA is doing it on his team, but it's almost like the coaching staff is teaching the entire team to do it at this point. Everybody's doing it. Chet Holmgren's doing it. I watched a guy drive the net from San Antonio, and Shea Gilgis was on defense, and the guy was going to go up to get a rebound, but Shea backed into him and then fell forward. And I'm like, how are they calling this every single time? And
Well,
it irritating.
it is a ref issue, because the way fouls are supposed to work is based on intention. And that's how it should always be. If it doesn't look like it's intended for the foul, like if you're intentionally fouling, because it's got to be intentional. Like, when it's obvious when you're doing it in football, because when you're doing a face mask or something like that, it's
Yeah,
obvious when you're doing it. And it's obvious when someone's throwing an elbow, or it's obvious when someone's swatting and hitting you in the face. It's obvious when those things happen. Like, when you watch what's her face? Caitlin Clark,
Clark.
and watch her get fouled. Those are real fouls. Like, they're just aiming
Yeah.
for her face. They're not like, and she's taking them way better. Like, she's not throwing herself down. Like, it seems like the WNBA, they're able to handle those hits better than the NBA is actually able to handle them. And I'm sorry, dude, if bro, like, I don't know what you're doing, man. As a grown man throwing yourself on the floor like that, dude, it is absolutely pathetic to watch. It's not. It is. It is.
So I've seen it before. Like there are still players across the league that will throw their head back, like LeBron does it.
LeBron does it
There's
too.
so
Like,
many
yeah,
There's so many players that do it. They'll throw their head back, but we're talking something completely. This is next level for SGA. He's falling every
I saw
single
him.
shot, every single shot. So I looked this up. The fall rate per shot in the NBA. Who do you think is number one?
Oh, it's got to be Shane. Sure, Shay.
Shea
What
Shea
what is the
Gilgis,
number? What is the
SGA,
difference between the first and second person, though?
6%. 17% of the time, 17.4% of the time, Shea Gilgis will fall on a shot attempt. That
Oh
leads
my
the league, the
gosh,
NBA. James Harden falls in at number two with
that doesn't surprise me either.
11.9% of the
That
time.
doesn't surprise me
Again,
either. He's so unfun to
doesn't
watch too.
Devin Booker's the next one with a 10%, and then it's dropped. Jalen Brunson's up there in the top four with a 7.9, but that's 10% lower than Shea Gilgeous.
So he's
So
basically at
if
almost 20% of the time, he is basically falling down per shot.
yep,
That is
yep.
insane. That is crazy. And that should be honestly, there should be penalties against that. There should be, you know what I mean? Especially when it's like when it looks like for instance, like I said, I literally saw a shot the other day where he has the ball and he's like trying to take a shot. And I don't know what happens. The guy kind of like swung, didn't hit him, but he falls back and they call a foul. And I'm like, that didn't even connect. Like, why is that a foul? They have to start letting these players play through those things too. Like they got to stop doing that. Like they need to let I don't know what's going on. Like I said, who knows? I mean, maybe this is part of the whole. This is why they were getting in trouble for gambling and stuff like that when refs were gambling. This looks bad on refs and this looks bad on the NBA. And the commissioner needs to do something about it because it's like it's at a point where that's just 20% of the time when you're making shots, you're going to get fouled. That's insane. Those numbers are insane.
Well,
And
what's interesting to me is the difference that the game is being called. The games that the San Antonio Spurs have won, Shea Gilgeous isn't getting to the line as frequently. So
no,
they're letting them play. But what I like in the games that they do win is obviously when he gets to the line a ton. He becomes a normal player if he's not going to the line, all the time. But what I like about San Antonio is they brought in a tactic that it brings back old school basketball. San Antonio Spurs are busting up. They're bringing in these bigs that are coming in and just roughing up the skilled players. They charge behind and hit McCain from behind, blindsiding him. They're hard fouling just about everybody that's going up for it. The guys that they don't care get thrown out are hard fouling and just showing, hey, you guys want to act like a bunch of babies? We're going to put you on the ground. And I love that mentality. And it almost has OKC playing scared. And the Spurs have won all those games. I want the Spurs to win because I cannot stand the
okay.
way
So
that
who do you think
OKC
is going to win
plays.
tonight? Let's do your
The way that
prediction.
it's I think OKC wins. I think OKC wins just because
I
I think
hate
the
that you
refs are
say
going to go
that.
the other direction.
I'm gonna
What do you
say
think?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say the Spurs are gonna win. I want to.
Okay.
I'm hoping I'm right. I mean, obviously, like if 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 the refs, I think they only called 6 fouls on Gilligas yesterday, which was great because that means that they're cracking down on it a little bit. I'm hoping that just continues into this game today. So if that happens, I think Spurs are gonna win today. I think because of yesterday, I'm hoping that today it changes. So like again, unless the powers that be want OKC to win, and then it's like there's nothing I can do about that at that point. But I'm gonna say Spurs are winning tonight, and I'm just
I
hoping
want the
that
Spurs to win.
yeah,
I want that to happen. I really do. I'd love to see San Antonio win it this year. The Knicks are looking really good, but if OKC does move on to play the Knicks in the finals, it'll be interesting because Brunson, again, you saw him, he's fourth on that list. He falls a lot as well. Not as much as
no.
SGA. But if you put two floppers on the court at the same time, who's going to win out? I think OKC does because at the end of the day, their whole team is flopping as opposed to just one player.
Well, from what I understand, it seems like they're also putting a lot more pressure on Shea Gilgis, from what I understand from yesterday. And it seemed like they were really keeping him from getting the ball in general. So if he could just if they could keep the ball from even touching him, I think that they're going to be fine. I if it sounds seems like they got it figured out. I mean, look, this is like how many games is this in? How many games have they done so far together total?
Well, this will they played six, so this
Six.
will be game seven.
Yeah. So three games that they lost, 3 games that they won, and then obviously this is the last and final game. Um, I think as long as they just keep up what they're doing, they're obviously they're figuring something out because obviously they can't keep it going. They can't keep that momentum going with the way that they're doing things. I think that they continue doing their method of keeping them from giving the ball to him and also keeping hopefully the refs aren't calling as many fouls. I think that they're going to be
I
fine.
think
I think the Spurs are going to
I
win today.
I think if OKC can stay true to the way that they're playing the game, they're not flopping, but if they could play that rougher style of basketball and keep OKC from driving the rim or keep making every shot difficult, as long as the refs stay uninvolved, just even limit the involvement in
Yeah.
in getting SGA to the rim, I think that Spurs can definitely win this game. Um,
But again, a foul
it'll be
is
interesting.
intent. A foul is intent. It's about like I mean, you see it all the time with like even with pitching. like, it's the intent. Like, there's balls that slip out, and with the pitchers, you could tell where, like, it's not intentional, and it's like, "Oh, it's sorry, my bad," pitchers will apologize, things like that. I think it really just comes down to intent. I really think that intent matters, and that's how it should only be played, and the fact that the refs are even letting it getting away this far, again, this will put a bad look. I just don't see them winning because, again, no one wants to see that in the finals.
That
Nobody
style of
wants to see
basketball.
that. Yeah, no one wants to see that in the finals. I just think if they let OKC go forward, they are setting a precedent of other players and the rest of the basketball league doing that. And I think if they do that, they're going. I think that no one's gonna want to watch basketball if they keep on doing that. No one's gonna watch
Yeah.
basketball. No one's gonna want to watch it. It's
I think that it's interesting. Adam Silver, the top guy, is hearing it across the board right now. I'm sure he's seeing these games. He's seeing these players flop around the rink. It's kind of embarrassing to watch, to be honest with you. But maybe he views it as, the OKC is a villain, and Spurs are David and in the playing Goliath at the end of the day. So you're going to bring people in viewership because people hate him so much and they want to see him lose. So if viewership is still the same, does he care that much?
But Spurs are just still considered, I mean, an underdog in this sense because they're, they haven't won. So I mean, like, they definitely
Yeah.
need to win. I think that it would still. I don't think playing the villain, the continuation of the villain, I think would be a good theme. But I guess we'll see.
I
That's
think if it goes on, and they do win, a championship or something like that, there's going to be talk of next year. How do we prevent the flopping? There's been rumors that they might instill like a technical foul. If you flop and it's known that you flop and they'll replay it, that you're going to get a technical. And you can only carry so many technicals in a season before you reach a suspension. So maybe you start penalizing for intentional flops,
okay.
or you give more replays, or whatever it looks like. There needs to be some accountability for the flopping and then some correcting on the ref side, that we're not going to call a game if we see people intentionally trying to do this style of basketball.
Yeah, I think that's a good
That's what
idea.
that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the
On what?
the New York Knicks? So they went and swept the Cleveland Cavaliers in this round. They're moving on to the championship. So they won 4 games,
Who did I
and
have on
Cleveland.
that? Who did I have winning that one?
Um, I don't recall, to be honest with you. The Knicks, they've been pretty good throughout the playoffs so far. So like my take on it is like the Knicks look like a championship team this year. They're relatively the same team as last year. They look solid. Jalen Brunson's playing well. He's not flopping nearly as much, so it's palatable. But Cleveland almost looked like they gave up. And if you remember, game one, Cleveland was winning by 22 points in that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
I did watch that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I did see that. Everybody was like surprised that they lost. Like, yeah, that is crazy. I don't know, man. I'm actually, I would, I still want, I'm hoping it's Spurs and Knicks. I think that
yeah,
would be the game to watch. I see that being a fun game to watch just because it's like, New York Knicks always, they're always a decent team, especially lately. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping to see Spurs and Knicks, uh, Spurs and oh my gosh, the New York
yeah,
Knicks.
the New York Knicks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm the same way.
I'm
I
hoping
want to say the
I
same
see
thing.
them. I want to see them both play against each other. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I,
So
I like. I'm a big fan of the Spurs right now. The Knicks are looking really good. They've looked good through the entire playoffs. Honestly, like I said, Cleveland I thought would put up a bigger fight. They got James Harden
yeah,
over there. They got Donovan Mitchell.
but
Those
I
are
will
some
say
good
this:
players.
I'm not a James Harden fan, so I'm okay with him losing. I just don't like the guy. I don't like. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of him. So I'm okay
Yeah,
with him not making it, and it makes sense because them giving up just kind of makes me feel like that's kind of like the mentality of him anyway. So it's like
it is.
I don't.
He's terrible in the playoffs.
I don't mind them losing. It would be disappointment to watch that team play. So I'm okay
Yeah,
with that.
I was just I expected Cleveland to at least take a couple, but I think after that first game where they lost, after having a 22-point lead and the Knicks making the comeback and winning that game ultimately, they kind of gave up after that. The morale of the team just went in the crapper, and the Knicks just blew them out almost every single game. They won by like I think it was 37 points in this last game.
Yeah.
Like in the game four, like go win or go home. So that, yeah, that was upsetting to see that series wasn't all that watchable because the Knicks just smoked them. But I would like to see the Knicks versus San Antonio.
Yeah.
I really don't want to see OKC in there again. I really don't.
No, I agree. But okay, where are we at now? Shoot, I don't have my notes up.
Yeah, yeah, we can go into the debate questions if you'd like.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Shoot, I need to pull it up though.
Yeah,
All right.
so we put together some questions just to get an idea, get some, conversation going between us. We haven't talked about these questions prior,
No.
so it's, we'll see if we agree on certain things or if we completely disagree, and then maybe have a debate about it. So the first one, like the first debate question is it acceptable for a superstar athlete to intentionally play poorly or fake an injury to force a trade? Or is that a fireable bench or contract that should ruin their legacy?
Let's get your take on it first. Like, I don't want to hear what you have to say about this.
Yeah, so superstar athletes to me, I think that I can see both sides of things, but if you are asking for 8 years, top paid athlete, whatever sport it is, that you have an obligation to fulfill that contract. I think that you you took on an 8-year contract and the goal was that you're going to be the highest paid within the 8 years, and the market always changes, so you're going to get new players coming in, new players with new contracts are going to supersede you. I think that these superstars are seeing that players are surpassing them in terms of pay annually. And they're like, oh, I deserve another contract. No, you don't deserve another contract. You signed an 8-year contract. You put your signature on the contract as it stands. And you're saying, I'm going to be here for 8 years or 3 years or whatever it is for this period of time for this amount of money. So if you're going to go get injured or sabotage your team and decide that, oh, I want to get more money, I think that you're stuck with that team and you should actually be fined. If you're faking it, I think you should be fined and the contract should be like taken away. There should be penalties for doing that to it, putting ownership in a position where you're trying to force their hand. I don't agree with it. What are your thoughts?
Okay, this might be a hot take. I
All
disagree.
right, go ahead.
I disagree. And here's what I'm going to say about this. Okay, I'm going to make a comparison. So let's just say for make maybe a comparison to like the military. Okay, so
Okay.
we're all A1Cs. Every A1C gets paid the same, right? Well, let's just say hypothetically they decide to pay finance more at that point. Just they want to pay finance more just because. Or if other ones start to get paid more than security forces, and we're security forces would consider the bottom, and they want to start paying other people different wages based on what they think they do in terms of the capabilities or whatever the case is. When we work probably more than they do, when we probably do a lot more BS than they do, but everybody else gets paid more than us. Do you feel like that's fair in that sense to be on security forces if the military decides to pay us more?
No, I think that if you are a specific rank, then and that's the pay structure that you fall in that pay structure, and that's it.
So, I mean, technically, a wide receiver is across the board the specific rank. I look at it more like I also feel like if you're a QB, let's just say you're a QB for, I'm going to say, let's make a comparison with Andrew Luck. All right. Here's my biggest thing with Andrew Luck. I think they should have. I'm sure they're promising him a lot. I'm sure that the team is promising him a lot. But if he's not, the O line never changed. The O line never got better. And as a high end QB, he went to the end of his term, and I felt like he could have done better somewhere else. And I think
Yeah.
that he should have gotten paid more because if you're sitting there saying you're going to build this franchise around him and you don't come up to the expectation of what you're telling your number one QB that you're going to protect him, that you're going to get these things done, and you don't do it, and you fail to sit there and keep your end of the bargain. Yeah, it might not be written in a contract, but even if it's said verbally, you know what I mean? I'm sure stuff like if you watch interviews with him, he talks about stuff like that too as well, where things were promised, things like that were said, and it didn't happen. Even with Tom Brady, I mean, Tom Brady took a huge pay cut. You know what I mean? And he was probably promised a franchise tag or something or franchise buyout at the end of his enlistment or at the end of his term. You know what I mean? And then he didn't get it, and then he went to the Raiders. You know, there's this whole thing that happened, and then you have Max Crosby not going to the Patriots for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, was it Max Crosby? kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like these little weird things happen, and the thing is, I feel like you're your own advocate. You're your own. You're essentially you're selling yourself. If I'm on the Jets and I'm the number one wide receiving prospect, and I am, yeah, I mean, at some point, yeah, you're accepting these terms, but it's like at the same time, if the Jets are telling you, hey, we're gonna try to improve this, we're gonna try to do this, which I'm sure every single team does, your word is your bond. I highly doubt these teams are being like, no, we're just going to keep things the way that they are. We're not going to improve anything. And you're just going to be like SOL, like no one's doing that. I'm sure they're telling all their stars exactly what it is that they're trying to do. And I'm sure that there's some type of, again, not a verbal thing that's going on that's not happening. And I do think that there's maybe a lot more things that are like behind the scene things that keep you from wanting to do your best because I'm being told this and I'm not getting what I was told. I I feel like maybe it might be a little bit more to that. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I do see some little similarities like with Andrew Luck, with Tom Brady, with little things like that that you see happening. You know what I mean? And then that happens and it's like what do you do at that point? You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I think there's a difference between like a coach or ownership group saying something as opposed to a written contract. A written contract is something totally different. If I'm an ownership group and I'm saying, hey, yeah, we're gonna this is our goal. This is where we're headed as a team. And let's just say that ownership group sells the team. Is the new ownership group
Oh, you're cutting
because
out.
it's not a contract? What's that?
You're cutting out. Hold on, give me
How
one
about now?
second. It's going now. Okay, you're good. Oh no, you cut out
Yes.
again. You cut out again. Hold on. You cut out again. I can't hear anything you're saying, and they can't either. Okay, hold on. All right, go now.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, so if a previous ownership group makes a promise and then they sell the team, is the new ownership group going to uphold what the previous one had said? No, they're not. There's
Okay.
no contract saying that they should. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So let's say this: you're on a team, and you want me to hold up your end of the bargain. Okay, like you're my owner, and you want me to hold up my end of the bargain. Okay.
Yep.
At that point you tell me a year from now. So I'm 4 years into my 8 year contract, and then all of a sudden you tell me I'm going to the Miami Dolphins,
Yeah.
and so I have to hold up my end of the bargain, but then you're not keeping me for the 8 years that you promised me. You think that that's fair?
I think that if you're under a contract, that contract becomes like currency within a team. So I can move as an ownership group.
Correct.
My obligation is to put the best team on the field. So if I have a contract and you're not the best player, but and I can offload that to put the best product on the field, I have an obligation to the fan base to be a good owner and put the best team available out there. If that means not upholding your contract and pushing it on a different team, yeah, 100%. You signed a contract. It allows me to trade you unless you have a no trade clause, which can be negotiated into your contract. If you have that, then you're fine. But if you don't have a no trade clause, you're susceptible to be traded. That's just part of it.
Okay, so again, so it's okay for you to use it's okay for you to use me as currency based on how well I play, but I can't use myself as currency to sit there and go on a new team to sit there and play for someone else.
You can once your contract is up. Once you've signed the contract, you've agreed in principle, this is my salary, this is the tenure. And
Okay.
as an owner, I'm not signing anything to take you on. I'm just paying you because you signed the contract. So I can trade you off. Once you get to the end of your contract, you as a player have an opportunity based off of what you've put out stat wise to go to another team at that point. You're not locked in with me anymore.
Okay, but okay, so even if I play at the best of my ability and let's say I get someone that's terrible as a QB, how is it that
Yeah,
I'm going to be able to perform at the best I possibly can if I get someone like Jamarcus Russell?
you can't. You can't.
How is that? Okay, so again, that's why I think it's fair if you're going to draft someone like Jamarcus Russell or um, Ryan Leaf. Yeah, I think that it's fair that you're not. I feel like that bargain can go both ways. And if you're not drafting correctly, or if you think you know best, or you're not doing your due diligence on making sure that you have the best on what's available, or even getting rid of those people, even though you drafted a number one, but you're trying to keep this player going, even though it's not working out. You know what I mean? Like Yeah, I think that's fair to sit there and I don't know. I feel like at that point, like trade me away. If you're not going to sit there and get better players or not try to draft people out or change up something or at least say, hey, next year we got something better coming for you, or hey, we're gonna draft QB number one. I don't know. I feel maybe I feel a little differently about it. I get the contractually, I get that, but I also feel like contractually as well. Um, your employer is obligated. Oh, sorry, I don't know what just happened. Just got to pop up. Your employer is obligated to also take care of you as well. They're obligated to take care of they're obligated to take care of the team as an overall. And if I have a really good player on my team and I'm not sitting there building around that player or at least trying to make things go smoother for that player to play well, then I should play well somewhere else. Use
The
me
thing
as
is,
collateral.
not all things are created equal. There's not 32 QBs out there that are going to be the same caliber. You're going to have similar caliber, but you're going to have all stars. You're always going to have great players everywhere, and it's the what if is always going to be there. Calvin Johnson, prime example. You throw him on any other team with a solid quarterback, he becomes a freak of nature out there. He's going to be the Randy Mosses out there. He's going to put up 50 touchdowns a season. But unfortunately, not every team is going to have the same quality of quarterback. Not every team is going to have the same quality of wide receiver. And it doesn't always work out that way. At the end of the day, just say, I'm going to go from college or wherever I came from onto an NFL team. And I'm going to accept that at one, I'm in the NFL. I'm going to sign a contract and make the money while I can.
Okay. Okay. So for instance, okay, someone that okay, perfect example. Oh shoot, you're locking up again. Um, perfect example. Gronkowski was supposed to get traded. He said he was going to retire, so he used his contract to his advantage and just said, "I'm just going to retire if you're going to trade me," and then took it away the second they didn't sit there and make the trade with them.
That doesn't mean that they couldn't have traded him. They could have still traded him. They chose not to. So if
They
you want to
chose
play
not
the
to because he was threatening retirement, though. Like he was just
that's
going to
fine.
see. Okay,
That's
so
because
that's okay
because
to do, but I can't sit there and still not play to the best of my ability to get traded out of a thing.
well, the risk that you run of threatening retirement is that you're in a situation where you actually have to retire. And now you're out for a season, 2 seasons. You still have to wait the contract length, even in retirement. You're still under contract, but you're not getting paid. So
I
if
don't
you're
know,
sitting
man.
out, you're not retiring. You're just electing to fake an injury and not play. Threatening retirement, if they say, okay, go ahead, we're still going to trade you, you can retire or you can go play for the other team.
But again, if you're a QB and you're getting tackled all the time, why wouldn't like you're at a point where you're basically completely becoming crippled because of it? Yeah, I think it's fair to sit there and be like, "Yeah, I'm hurt. My ankle hurts." Like,
That's an injury, an
but
actual
that's
injury.
but no, I mean, even if I don't have an injury and I'm still getting hit hard, if I don't want to, if I'm getting hit like, dude, check what are the stats on how many times Andrew Luck got hit in a game? He's gotten hit a lot in one game. I want to say it was like 7 times or something crazy like that.
I think Matt, there was a quarterback, David Carr in Houston, that was sacked more, but Donovan McNabb, he leads with 12 sacks in 2007. Warren Moon is up there.
McNabb doesn't count because
Uh,
he also ran a lot too. So he,
Marcus Mariota, Greg, yeah. So
but
that's
if
the
I'm
top. That
getting
was a little
sacked
random.
12 times and you're telling me like the offensive line, like preserving my own self, or if you have a QB that's throwing the ball, but throwing the ball right at another defender for him to just crack you right when he hits, and it's happening so many times over and over and over again, and like I'm getting tired of getting hit this hard. Your durability can't last that long. You still think that that player should still play at the best of his ability if he's if injury becomes an issue. You have to remember, even in the military, you're your own advocate. You're your own advocate to sit there and protect yourself from if you can't do something, you need to say something before it goes any further. You know, you're your own advocate before you start breaking. I don't think a contract should matter if your team is letting you down by getting you injured, or if your QB is letting you down by throwing the ball right where defenders at for you to get cracked and getting a concussion. We've seen it enough times to sit there and see that there are a lot of players that have gotten cracked and taken out for the rest of the season based on poor choices a QB has done.
So there's a difference between faking injury and being injured, but not going out to play a position that you signed a contract. Everyone knows the risk
So
when you go
I
play
get
a
cracked.
physical
So
sport.
I'm getting cracked 6 times a game. All right. Cracked. I mean, because he's throwing the ball terribly at me and I'm getting hit every time. And now I'm getting tired of it because I'm gotten injured a couple times every year. And now I'm getting tired of it. Now we're in year 4 and I'm sick of it. And I don't want to get hit anymore because I could further injure myself. I've already had concussions already. I've already had broken ligaments. I've already had all these things happen to me. So you're saying faking an injury at that point of basically saying like you think that that's the wrong move.
Retire. If you don't like playing the game anymore because of the risk
Trade me
that
to a
you
different
run,
team.
no, I'm not going to trade because at the end of the day, if you don't like it as a wide receiver, go play a different position, go play a different sport. But here's the thing: you want me to continue to pay you through a fake injury, but you don't want
This is
to
a good topic. This is a
retire.
good topic.
Like, hey, I want to fake an
If I'm
injury because I
4
don't
years
like
in,
being
why would I
hit.
retire? Why would I retire 4 years in? I would
It's a
like you're
physical
not.
sport.
If you're a terrible commissioner or you're a terrible GM and you are not sitting there protecting your players, that is on the commissioner, not the wide receiver. He doesn't care. You
It's
don't care because you're not the one out there getting hit.
that's like being drafted to the Raiders. Every person that's drafted to the Raiders, Mendoza was just drafted as a QB. That dude's gonna get hit, but you don't say no. You're gonna get a contract. You're not gonna be, oh, Raiders, hey, I don't want to get hit too much. I know it's football, but I don't want to get hit. I'm not signing your contract. Trade me. It doesn't work that way. You,
I don't
you
know.
play where you're drafted. You fulfill the contract. You don't fake an injury because you still want to get paid. And if you don't want to
But
get hit
but even
anymore
if you're
and you
faking
want to fake an
injuries,
injury,
even if you're faking injuries, there's certain obligations you have that you lose out on money to not sit there and get. So like that's on me if I'm not like you get if you have to play X amount of games to get paid X amount of money, or you have to get X
that's
amount.
incentive based.
Correct. So if I'm choosing not to get those incentives because I don't want to get hurt anymore, then yeah, I think that's on me. That's my money that I'm
Oh, that's
losing.
completely agree with that. But all these contracts are not incentive based. Like you'll see these older guys get incentive based. Like, hey, if you get 5 touchdowns this season, you're going to get 100,000 extra. But usually that's going out to a contract for an older player or someone who maybe has been injured for years. You're
Oh
not
no,
going to get
there's
a new contract like
I've
that.
seen some. I think that there's pretty recent stuff that's actually happened that have been more incentive based. I think it's becoming more of a thing now. But I don't know, man. I feel like again, if I'm losing, like I do that. I do know that those contracts are based on how many games you do play. You can't be injured majority of the time, anyways. If you want to get paid a certain amount, I'm pretty sure some of those payouts are based on how many games you play as well. So you're not just getting.
No.
I think I might be right. Oh, we're gonna look this up.
You have so these guys are getting so much guaranteed money in the NFL right up front. Half their contracts guaranteed right out the gate. There's a lot of times there's no saying, hey, if you're really injured, like Scattaboo, if you snap your ankle playing the game the right way, you're oh, we're not going to pay you anymore. No, you have a contract. They're still going to pay you. It's not till you get older or later in your career where you start seeing those incentive-based contracts where they're like, "Hey, you have to do 7 games. You've been injured, your entire career."
Okay, you are right
So,
about that. Okay, you are right about that. Okay.
so if it's
If
incentive-based,
it's a
yeah,
guaranteed contract, you're right.
yeah, all of these contracts for new guys coming in, you're going to have a huge payout right out the gate, and the contract's guaranteed. It's not until you get older in your career that they do the incentive ones.
But some of them do include per roster bonuses, and
Yeah,
they receive extra money if they're physically on the active 48-man day roster for that specific time frame for that
yeah,
specific game.
bonuses. So bonuses are like structured in, and that's like, hey, if you make the Pro Bowl, you're gonna get a bonus. If you make the Super Bowl, you get a bonus. So those are automatic. Those are usually plus ups, but
But
there's no take backs.
I feel like if you're on free agency, not draft, I'm talking about free agency, and you accept the contract, I can see that being more of a thing. But if you're on draft and you get drafted to a team that you're like, I have no control over what I can do or what I can't do. I don't know. Maybe I feel a little differently on that because if you're a free agent, you have no choice. There's nothing you can do about that. But
If you're drafted, you have no choice. Yeah, absolutely. But say every single drafted player that was gonna because the Raiders have they're always in the top three because they're always a terrible team. Now say every single player that the Raiders drafted over the last 10 years said no. Would they ever climb out of being mediocre? No, they would never, because you would never get talent over there. So you can't have a bunch of people saying, no, trade me, or they're never going to develop and they're never going to grow. So you're going to have the same teams winning every single year. So at the end of the day, if you get drafted, just be thankful that you got drafted.
Can you
Is it a tough
grow on a
sport?
losing team?
Can you grow on a losing team? Probably not as much as someone who's on a awesome team, but it's the luck of the draw. Don't accept the guarantee. Like people drafted 1, 2, 3, they get huge contracts in comparison to those drafted at 10, 15. So there's incentive to go for the top pick or second pick. Yeah, you're going to be on a crap team, but you're getting way more money than someone who's drafted 15th or second round. But second round, you might end up on the Patriots and then go showcase your abilities and get a better contract on your second go around.
I don't
It's
know. I think we're gonna agree to disagree. I'm not convinced. I feel bad for some of the players that get put on the teams. Like, I don't know. But that's just me
they're
though.
making millions. If you can't
I
walk
guess
for the
that's
rest of your
true.
life, you got
Yeah.
millions to fall back on.
That is true too. That is true too. That's so funny. That's a good
um,
talk.
yeah. So the next one would be should a head coach prioritize a player's character and locker room chemistry, or should they be willing to sign any toxic player if it guarantees a championship?
Okay, what team are we? I think that matters per team. Like
Oh, I don't.
because I wouldn't if I'm already if I'm like a winning team and we've won multiple Super Bowls in the last 10 years, I don't really care as much. But I do know that the toxicity does affect everyone on the team. So I mean, like, it's hard to say,
We're
man.
not. We're not talking a Golden State where they took on Kevin Durant. We're
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
talking We're not talking that. We're talking someone who's been close for multiple years or a team that hasn't been even made the playoffs. Are you signing players with bad character issues to go out and win a championship if it's guaranteed?
If you're the Jets, then yeah, of course you are,
Yeah.
of course you are. I
I,
don't. I mean, to me, if I'm the Jets, and I think that this could change our entire, by having a terrible attitude player, then so be it. You know what I mean? Like at some point, you guys got to get a win. Jets have to get a win at some point. Maybe I
yeah.
don't know, but you know, I mean, to be honest with you, they really. I mean, certain teams just have no choice. Certain teams just have no choice.
Who are you going to go out? Because Dallas is usually close. Are you going to get the worst player, attitude player out there, drama
See,
queen, whatever you want to say? Are you going to go
see,
put him on your team?
we're not. I don't think we're the worst team. So I feel like something like that wouldn't benefit a team that's
But if it,
mediocre.
yeah, but if it guarantees, say I can guarantee you that Dallas is going to win a Super Bowl next year, but you're adding this jerk onto your team.
Then
It's going
yeah,
to disrupt everything. You're going to take it.
I don't care about anybody else. I would like us to win at least once.
See, that's the mentality. And I completely agree. That I completely agree. I don't care about the attitudes, the characteristics
As
of a
long as you can
player.
work together and just for the game. You guys don't have
Even if
don't
you
even have
don't,
to be friends after you guys the second you guys walk in locker room. Go do your own thing. I don't care. But yeah,
yeah,
on the
I could
field,
care less.
yeah, that's funny.
Could I could care less about the makeup of the team. If you're going to showcase and go out and win a championship, that's all I care about. I could
Yeah,
care less about everything else. It's
yeah,
about winning, in my opinion. So I'll take on the worst jerk out there. And as long as we're going to win a championship, I could say that to anybody. If the Jets, I could tell you today, I'm going to get you this player, and this player. Yeah, you guys are going to hate this guy, but we're going to win a championship. You're taking that. You're always going to take that.
yeah,
So yeah, we're on the same page with that one,
yeah.
100%. Next one, does the rise of heavy nepotism in sports, drafting and coaching hires destroy the locker room's belief in fair mediocrity? We're talking LeBron, Bronny James. You see it across, and it's different for every sport. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Like Shador Sanders.
People are sinners. Yep.
I think it translates better in baseball and probably even hockey than it does basketball and football. I
Hmm.
think based on what I've seen so far in basketball, you don't have or even in football, like Shador Sanders, he's not a great QB, and I don't. I mean, he's okay. He's better than some of the people he got. Yeah, they have, but I mean, he's not that great. And then you have Bronny James, who's just terrible, terrible player, and I mean, it's great. I mean, if I was in that position, yeah, would I be okay with it if I was Bronny James? Yeah, of course I want to be on the Lakers on the winning team and with my dad who happens to be the best player in the league. But the problem is like I think that it affects sports big time because it takes away from players that actually can do well. Like Bronny James
Yeah.
took a spot from someone. He probably wouldn't even have made it to the NFL. Or to the NBA. I don't think he would have made it. Like in reality, he only did it because of his name. That's it. I think he coasted because of his name, and that was it. And there is nothing else about him that's interesting. I've watched him play. I've seen a lot of misses. I've seen a lot of him playing terrible, and it is hard to watch. And I would honestly, as LeBron's dad, I'd be kind of ashamed. I'd be like, that's like, I don't know. I think our era, if it were my dad, I would want to be better than my father. So I would
Hmm.
do everything I could to be better than my dad. And that would be my mentality going into it. If I knew I wasn't ready, he should have stayed in college. He should have or continued playing in college or whatever. Or I don't even think he did. I think he went straight from high school to I don't think he played college at all, but I think he should have stayed for 4 years. I think he should have stayed in college for 4 years, rode that out, get a little bit more, you know, I don't know. I think get a little better. Get a better, become a better player, or start
But what
taking
if you're
testosterone or
wh-
something. He's
what
small.
if you're a dad and ultimately you want the best for your kids? And say Bronny did stay, but LeBron's time is running up in the league. He's getting older, but he envisioned, or you just say you're in that same scenario. You always envision playing alongside your kid, and you want what's best for them. You want to get them into a situation where they can be successful. Are you not jumping on an opportunity to get this kid on your team so you have an opportunity to play with him and he's taken care of?
Well, it depends on my kid's mentality. I've been wanting to teach my kids, you have to work for everything you're doing. If you're not staying late, if you're not perfecting your craft, I'm not going to sit there and vouch for you. Matter of fact, perfect example. And I'm not trying to speak poorly about it, but like, you know, my dad was talking about retirement and wanted to know if he could join, like, do my, he's talking about, joining with my company and stuff. I don't know the type of person he is in terms of like how well he's going to perform. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't vouch for him because I don't know his work ethic. I've never seen him work before. And you know what I mean? Like I couldn't sit there and vouch for someone, like even people that I know. I've not gotten people jobs because I can't vouch for their, based on what I knew of them in the military. I couldn't sit there and get them a job because I didn't think that they were qualified because I know their work
Yeah,
ethic. So I've not brought people in who I was cool with or close with just because of that reason alone. I would do it
yeah,
with my own kids. I wouldn't want, maybe at a certain status, if you're at LeBron's status, maybe who cares? You know what I mean? Like who cares? You got your son something, and that's great. You know what I mean? Hey, wonderful. You got your son. He gets to be on the Lakers until you leave, and then he's gone because I guarantee you they're not going to keep him past his. If LeBron gets traded away, or if LeBron leaves the Lakers, I would 100% within a year. I think that he'd be gone. Bronny James would be gone.
yeah. I think in like you said earlier, baseball, it's you don't see it as much. The rosters are big.
No.
There's minor leagues as well, but I see a lot of legacy players coming in, and they don't have an opportunity to play with their fathers. But it seems like they wait forever before they actually get into a position to play. Everyone seems to start out in the minor leagues unless you're like this phenom. There's no coming out of high school and going right into the MLB. So it's
Yeah.
a process. So you don't really see it there. And I don't see fathers going out and publicizing anything like, "Oh, I want this kid on the major league roster right now."
No.
So I don't see it there. On the basketball side, I think the rosters are small enough where it's very easy to see. The G League is not like highly publicized, so you know I think you see it a little bit more there. And there's only really very few occasions where we're seeing it. The Shador Sanders situation, I even think that he utilized Dion used his clout within the league to kind of get him drafted, and he played him a ton in college. So obviously his numbers were inflated a little bit. Is he the most talented player? No, but I think actually Dion Sanders and the way he operates hurt Shador Sanders. He came in and he was expected to be drafted in the first round, and he was what, fourth round guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
something like crazy like that, yeah.
so I think there's nepotism there, but at the same time, it can hurt you as much as in some cases it helps you. LeBron, it helped, but that could have gone a completely different way.
Yeah.
Bronny isn't out there showcasing or talking like he's the best player in the league.
I also think
Shador is talking
LeBron
like
was
he is.
threatening retirement though too. I bet you he probably said, "Hey, I'm you guys do that, or you guys bring my son on my team, where I'm not staying on the team. And if LeBron's winning them championships, how are you going to tell their best player no?
You can't.
You're not going to tell him no. If you want them to
Yeah,
ride that out, they're going to want to win as many championships as they can. You know what I mean? Like
there's very there's very few players out there that are to the level of LeBron James
that get out of
where
that pool.
he's gonna yeah. You have to say yeah. Unfortunately, you're stuck in the situation. But you knew that taking on LeBron. If he asks for his best friend Dwayne Wade to come out of retirement, the Lakers, you better believe
Yeah.
it, they're gonna sign Dwayne Wade. They're gonna because he has that hold over me. But if you're just an average player, off the bench role, you can't go get my best friend. You can't do that. Giannis did the same thing with his two brothers. They were on his team as well. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
He
I
has
thought
two brothers on
I
the
thought
Bucks.
I thought they were on different teams. I didn't know. I thought one was on a European team, one was on. I thought they were all in different teams though. I didn't know they were all on the same play same team.
I, I'm pretty sure at least one of them is on the same team as Giannis.
That's funny.
But if again, that's you're talking superstar level. If you've got a guy who can take over a game and win you a game on his own, you got to say yes to a lot of his asks. If you're an average player or even a below average player, you can't say yes to
Let
that.
me
You
let me
say
ask you this:
yeah.
What is your prediction on how quickly they're going to boot Bronny James from the Lakers? How soon do you think they'll boot him the second LeBron leaves?
Oh, immediate. It'll be immediate. I think that there's been rumors that like LeBron wanted to go win another championship, and he was willing to go pretty much play for anybody, as long as the team was competitive. As soon as that trade happens, if it does happen, Bronny's gone in that package, if not another package to kind of get picks or whatever.
Do you think Bronny would be traded to another team first, or do you think he's just going to be free agent?
I think that they they would consider him to have some upside, so he might get traded and pushed down to the G League. I don't think he'd be outrighted, released into free
So
agency.
so you don't think he's going to go to like NBA status? You think he's going to go to G League status?
He is a G League player.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I agree with you 100%. No, I'm just saying like I'm saying the second he leaves, you don't see him staying there basically. Okay.
absolutely not.
You
He
think
doesn't contribute. He doesn't
within a
contribute
year, within 3 months, within 6 months, what would you say?
within within a month. I think it would be like this overhaul thing. I think that the LeBron's out. They know they need to rebuild. Bronny's out. They're gonna try to stock up on picks or young players, and Bronny's not part of that rebuild.
I think as long as LeBron doesn't own a part of Lakers or doesn't become a part owner, I think that Bronny James is out probably within 3 months of him leaving. I say 3 months.
Yeah,
That's going to be my prediction.
yeah, absolutely. He doesn't contribute. If you got a guy that's putting on, comes in, he can contribute off the bench 10 points a game, shoot efficiently, and maybe you get some rebounds, assists in there. That's fine. Okay, now you're contributing. But right now, he's just LeBron's kid. He doesn't do anything. So it is what it is. What it is. I don't see it going away, especially if you're a superstar and you want your kid to play on the same team as you. It's not going to go away. They're going to always say yes to guys like that. Unfortunately.
That's funny.
Did you want anything else on that one, or you want to
No,
move
we're
on to
good.
that?
That was good. That was a good topic. That was a good topic.
Yep. So this next one is the unwritten rule. You have it in every sport. Baseball is a big stickler for this one. So the unwritten rule culture, a vital shield that protects the integrity of the game, or is it just whiny excuse used by losers who can't handle getting embarrassed?
I want to know your opinion first because I'm going to tell you mine. I think it's going to be another hot take.
Oh my gosh, I love this. So for me, this always brings up Tatis. So Tatis in baseball, he plays for San Diego. Terrible season right now, but he was kind of the guy that was breaking the mold. Every time he would hit a home run, and he would do it frequently, he'd flip his bat, and it would be outrageous every single time. And pitchers hate when you showboat after hitting a home run. After they're competitive, just like everyone else on the field. But now you're kind of rubbing it in their face when you're flipping the bat right at them. Not right at them, but in their face essentially. So Tatis used to do this every home run, and pitchers would go out and hit other players on their team, or even the player who hit the home
Yeah.
run. So Tatis would continuously get hit. Garrett Cole is one of those guys. Tatis would hit a home run. Next inning, Garrett Cole, a good Yankees pitcher, would hit Tatis on purpose because of the showboating. So there are tons of players over time that the unwritten rule was you don't showboat. You drop your bat, you jog around the base, and then you go into the dugout. That was the unwritten rule. As time has gone on, the young players, they're trying to bring in some fun to the game. So they're showcasing it. They're having fun. They hit a home run, celebrate it. There's still a few old school pitchers out there who don't like it. They're still going to go out and plunk you. But at the end of the day, I love the drama and I love the enthusiasm from someone who hit a home run. I hate the old school mentality. The game needs to evolve, and the players that are coming in, the young ones, they're helping to evolve it and kind of relate to the younger crowd out there. I hate the old mentality. I'm all for the new stuff.
I'm actually surprised you said that. I actually was expecting to take the hot take of like say exactly what you say because there was that whole fountain issue too, where like a bunch of players jumped in the fountain. I forget what team it was. And I love see to me. I think it creates the rivalry. That's how I think rivalries are created. I think by doing the things that like they don't want you to do, or like everybody jumping in the fountain that is like the water feature. That's like whatever the case is. I think it was in baseball. I want to say it was in baseball. Maybe it was in was it was it in Miami? I don't know. I feel like it was something dumb like that where some like after they scored, they all jumped in they went and jumped in the water or something like that. After they won the game, they jumped in the water, which is like a huge no. Something dumb like I don't remember what team it was. You might want to look at there was a team that did that. And I don't remember what team, but I think it creates rivalry. I think it like on both sides because I think it pisses off the people that are it even pisses off uh the people watching, the people viewing, like the team,
Yeah.
and I think it makes it more fun because I like to hate those players. It's like it's fun for everybody to get involved because it feels like everyone's involved at that point. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. To me, I do think that that is something that does need to move away. The no nos of like you can't do this for in baseball. You can't. I think that honestly, if I hit a home run, I'd be happy about it. Like I think that that is fun to do. The whole I don't know. I agree. I agree with that. I think that that one's you know
Well, I'm going to give you a couple examples as well. So you see it in golf. Golf has always been known. The people who play don't showcase, don't go out and swear. Be very proper. Do it a certain way and act a certain way. If you do this, like the Happy Gilmore, don't be that guy.
yeah.
Now, guys, like they win a championship, they're jumping into the pond or something like that. I love the fun aspect of it.
I do
I don't
too.
want to see the boring version of it.
The
I want
gentleman's
people
game.
to do that.
You don't
Yeah,
want the
I
gentleman's
don't want to
game.
see the gentleman's game, but you see it with every sport essentially. Basketball is another one. These guys get so angry when another team is smoking them
And then
and
they
they're
they
still
score again
scoring.
on them. Yeah.
Yeah, they get so angry. Okay,
I
well,
love it. I love that, dude.
it sucks to suck. Sorry, stop them. If you don't want them to score, then stop them. If you don't put yourself in a situation
Yeah, I agree
when
with
you're
that.
losing by 20. I'm sorry. But they get so angry with it, and I love it. I love the drama of it all. I wanna see more of it. I
I
love
agree.
every aspect of it. I
I
mean, that's
agree.
kind of and it kind of full circle, it brings back to the OKC flopping. I hate that team, and I hate those players so much, but I'm almost drawn to watching the game because of it. Like, I want the teams to beat and smoke them because of that.
Well, let me ask you this: at what point does it get out of hand, though? What if other people, you know what I mean, like take it too far? What if that rivalry becomes like they do too much? Do you think that there's a limit, or do you think that there's no limit?
It's tough to say because it seems like boundaries are continuously being pushed. They are continuously expanding, and I think the more extreme that you get, the more viewership you're going to get because people they love drama. They love when you drive by on the highway and you see a car accident, even if it was just a fender bender, everyone's rubbernecking it. They're looking what happened over there. What happened? People want to see chaos. So the more chaos, the more viewers, the better.
The Washington Capitals is who I was thinking of after
Oh,
their 2018 Stanley Cup win. They leapt into the Georgetown fountain with the trophy with the Stanley
that's
Cup.
not even a big deal because
No, but
if
apparently
you
they
if
got offended, but the other team got offended by it though. Like, I mean, but like I said, I think it makes it fun. I mean, I know it's like you're
yeah,
probably, yeah, I think it's fun.
when it comes to the Stanley Cup, there's nothing that I can think of unwritten rule, and I could be not thinking of everything here. There's nothing that could be done that would offend anybody else, in my opinion. Because when you win a championship, you get the Stanley Cup. I've seen some or heard some crazy stories in regards to what they're doing with the cup. where some people will take it on vacation, some will eat cereal out of it. I don't think anything hasn't been done to that cup. So at the end of the day, jumping into a fountain, that's pretty average to me. It doesn't surprise me at all.
There was another
So I
one
don't know
too.
who.
There's
Go
another
ahead.
one too. I'm trying to remember. There's a few that's happened. I thought there was a baseball team. Hold on.
Baseball wouldn't surprise me. The bat flipping is a big one. The bunting on a no hitter doesn't surprise me anymore. Like if you have a no hitter going into the ninth, final out, and someone tries to bunt on you, is that not going to piss you off?
I think that's so funny. I think
I'd
it's
get so
funny. I
angry.
think it's so funny. I think it's so funny. I don't know. To me, I think it's funny, but I get it. I get why it would make you mad. It's funnier as like I said, it's funnier as a person watching, not as you know what I mean. Not as a a player. I'm sure.
If you're the one pitching the no hitter or whatever, and someone tries to bunt on you last out, oh, as a pitcher, I'm losing my mind. I am angry, and I'm hitting everybody after that. I'm sorry. It took you 100 something pitches to get through 9 innings, and you're 1 out away, and someone bunts on you and gets on base, and it's safe. Done. Sorry. The next three guys are getting hit. Sorry. It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
It was. It's okay. After defeating the Golden Knights, the Capitals jumped in the Georgetown Fountain, so it was against them. That was the one I was thinking of. Maybe it was. Okay.
I'll give you a scenario. So you as a team are beating another team, say 15 nothing, 15 nothing. Well, instead of going through all of your starting pitchers or relief pitchers because you need them for a day-to-day game that you're competitive in, you bring in like an outfielder, and these guys can throw fast as well.
Yeah.
And the outfielder goes into the pitching mound and he's throwing some lobs over the plate. Are you a guy that's going to go out and smack one out on someone who's just throwing meatballs across as an outfielder just to get through an inning? Or are you just trying to hit line drives just to get out of the game because you're winning 15 nothing?
I don't know. I feel like I just want to hit it as hard as I can. I just feel like I just want to just like tear into it. I don't. I For me at least, I would want to do that. But maybe not everybody. I'm just the type of person that would probably want to do that. That's just
Yeah, I'm the
it's
same. I'm
it's
going to go
fun.
smack the crap out of
Yeah.
that. You as a team made the decision to throw an outfielder into the pitching spot. If he's throwing meatballs, I'm smacking the crap out of it.
I
Sorry.
agree. That's
Get
funny.
mad at me, get angry. If you don't like it, go away. Sorry. Put someone in. And yeah.
That's so
So
funny.
we're on we're on the same page with that one. But yeah, that's the debate questions that we had there.
That's funny. No, we were going to talk about something else too at the end of this. Oh, Memorial Day.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There we go.
We,
Let's
we
get
had Memorial Day. Yeah, we'll jump into this. It's a little fun segment. We meant to do this early on, but completely lost track of it. But yeah, so a fun little Memorial Day thing. I wanted to get your take on it. We'd like to do like our top three. When you think of Memorial Day, there's foods involved, there's activities involved traditionally. We know it's like remembering military veterans. We have our own experiences with that having served. But I wanted to kind of dive into if you had to give your like top three Memorial Day foods, what would you do? What would your top three be?
Well, I think no matter what, especially now as I've gotten older, um, a must-have now, and this isn't going to be for everybody because obviously everybody's going to be a little different. But to
Yeah.
start off, I'm going to start with an appetizer, and it's going to be my salsa.
Oh, okay. The classic
Yeah,
homemade Danny
yeah,
salsa.
yeah. And I will say, it is the best salsa I've ever eaten. I don't think there's been any, and you've had it before, and maybe you feel a little differently about it. I will
I
say
love it.
it's one of the best salsa I've ever had in my life, and it's the perfect salsa. I don't think I've never had anything close to it.
Is it a staple? Like you have a get together on Memorial Day? Do you have to have it there? Is everyone expecting it?
I think at this point, yeah, I think a lot of people expect it. I think a lot of people generally like it. I don't think I've ever met people like my for instance, my wife doesn't eat salsa. She does not like salsa at all, but she will eat that salsa. That's the only salsa she'll eat. That's the
Yeah,
only one she'll eat. She does not like salsa at all. She doesn't like spicy foods, but she will eat that, and that's because she thinks it's the best salsa she's ever had. So I mean, and I think Nito's mentioned it. I think D's. I even talked to D's and he's like, "Hey, just so you know, I still think about that salsa. I went to somebody's house the other day, and he's like, I went to somebody's house. He's like, they had salsa there, but then I remembered." nothing's ever been as good as your salsa. He's like, I've never had salsa better than yours in my entire life.
He starts sharing like war stories,
Yeah,
like
I know.
it's
He's
all
like,
about the salsa.
no, but I mean, like,
I miss the salsa so bad.
I do think it's at a level that a lot of people, once they try it, I think they'd understand. It's just it is a it complements everything. It's just really good.
I do really enjoy it. It's been a while since I've made it, just because it is time consuming to make it.
It
So
is.
you're going to dedicate a couple hours to doing it, but at the end of the day, once it's made, it's like the cilantro, everything kind of works together. It's I can't stop eating it,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay,
But
what's your first?
yeah, yeah. So kind of very similar to yours, not the salsa piece of it, but a homemade thing that my mom started making. It's well known within the Upham family. It's our potato salad. So we always do like we're a potato family for whatever reason. But we always do this potato salad. It's got regular potatoes in there, and then it's got eggs in there. It's got bacon, tons of bacon in there. We pour the bacon grease in there, so it's even more unhealthy for you. But every time we get together for a barbecue or we do, Memorial Day hangouts, it's always there. It is
I was
always there.
I was actually surprised going to your brother's house because I was expecting to not like the food just because I generally have a lot of flavor. Your brother's wife made this casserole dish that I've never had before. And I don't like casserole, by the way. I'm not a big fan of like anything casserole at all. I know it's like a white person thing. I just am not a big I come from a Hispanic background, so I like to generally have more Hispanic type meals. I will say that was so good. I had to stop myself from wanting more because I'm like, I'm gonna look like a fatty fat McFatter, over here trying to eat all this food. Yeah, like and I actually thought it was one of the best tasting things because she used cottage cheese for the recipe. And I don't know what it
Yeah,
did, like, it changed the whole recipe completely. It tasted so good. It was amazing. It was an amazing
I'll
dish. I
have to
actually
let her
liked it.
know.
Yeah, I actually
I'll have
liked
to
it a
let her
lot.
know.
I'm not trying to say that just to like, but yeah, that was really good. Anyways, so part 2 of this, shoot,
Well,
oh, number
we'll go with your number two.
okay, so number 2, so I did come up with a marinade, and so very similar to like the salsa, not it doesn't taste like the salsa, but I'm saying, but very similar to how I constructed a marinade. I did a lot of research, and from my region, from like where my family's from in Mexico, I actually came up with a salsa that or a marinade for carne asada, and it tastes so good. It's the best carne asada I've ever had. I hate saying this because like you have to try it to know because I'm very big on like I'm a perfectionist, and I do feel like the salsa over time, it used to take me 4 hours to make. It takes me an hour to make now. Like I've gotten a lot better and a lot more quicker about how I do things and just the process, chopping up things. But the way I make the salsa now is or the way I make a marinade now for carne asada is so good. You have to try it. It's one of those things that's like a staple for that type of thing as well. I've gotten really good at making like that kind of food. So that is my other that's the big portion of it, the meat portion of it that I think is one of my favorite things to have for
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
yeah,
must have.
absolutely. So when I go must have, I always, I'm a traditionalist. When I say comfort foods or whatever, I think barbecue. I'm thinking cheeseburger. So my
Cheeseburgers, of
number two is
course.
cheeseburger. It's a
I was gonna
go-to.
go with that, but
It's a go-to every barbecue I go to. I can eat the crap out of some
I will
cheeseburgers.
say
So
this. I will say this. If you had to choose between just a standard cheeseburger or
mhm.
carne asada, which one would you pick? A steak.
It depends. If it's the marinade that you're throwing on there that I haven't tasted yet, I'm assuming it's going to be that. But carne asada can be done very, very well, but it
Yeah,
also can be done very poorly. So it
correct.
depends on how I'm getting it. I'm a very safe individual. So cheeseburger is usually something you can't really mess up. So that's why we traditionally go with it
Fair
for
enough.
like get-togethers. And so Memorial Day, I always think one of the cheapest, easiest things you could always do is a cheeseburger. You can double it up if you want, but it's number two for me.
Well, there's other things I wanted to add in this, but obviously, if we're picking three, there was a dessert I always like. So I went with a dessert this time. So I went with an appetizer, a main dish, and then a dessert. This is kind of like a really random thing, but as I've come to like live here, I've now want it a lot all the time, and it's banana cream pudding. I like banana cream pudding.
Really?
I out here, I've never been like a huge fan of it, but out here I've become a fan of it. And I wanted to go with something not as traditional. I really feel like because I thought about cheeseburgers were like second, and I'm like thinking no, but if I had carne asada next to a cheeseburger, even if it was like a really good cheeseburger, like even if I got it from like a really nice area, like nice place, because we get ours from my brother-in-law, and he gets like wagyu beef burgers. They're really good. They're so good. But I'm like, I prefer to have carne asada over this. So like that's why I wanted to
Yeah.
go with, but dessert, I banana cream pudding has become one of my favorite desserts out here.
That's that's crazy. Like, I'm not a big banana guy. I don't think many would have banana cream pudding as, top 3. That's
Well, I
wild.
wanna go with dessert. I wanna do a little different because obviously, like, I was trying to do something a little not similar to yours. I was trying to get something a little different. I wanted to go at least in my head, appetizer, main course, dessert.
Yeah.
That's how I wanted to choose it. So that's kinda what I was thinking. So
Yeah, so I kinda went, similar mine, like, I went dessert as well. I started off with potato salad as, like, a side, main dish being a cheeseburger, and then, for dessert, for me, getting together in, like, a warm spring, early summer, um, for me, it's always, like, watermelon. Nothing speaks
oh,
like
yeah, yeah, okay.
barbecue, hanging out with the group, cutting up some fresh, sweet watermelon. You're running around, you come over, you grab a slice, you just, oh, yeah, fantastic. So for me, you get into a Memorial Day setting, you throw a watermelon on the table, you cut it up, everyone's coming to grab a piece, and to me that speaks Memorial Day.
See, I have watermelon on I have, like, other things on here, like, I do like certain things on here, but I was trying to just like I said, it just fell further on my list because I was trying to do one we're doing 3 things only, and I'm like, "Well, what are the top 3 things I know for sure I'm gonna be happy with if I'm there waiting for the carne asada? I'm gonna eat chips and salsa. After I'm done with the steak, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
straight to dessert." You know what I mean? I'm just like, that's gonna be, like, how I did it, so, yeah, banana cream pudding, if you have it the way my wife makes it, it's dude, my wife has gotten so good at cooking, and she's like one of the best. Like I eat all her food. It's she's just become like a really good little chef. So it's been really nice to eat her food. It's one of my favorite things to eat. So
What I'm kind of wondering is the people that are listening out there who are taking the time to make it this far in the episode, what's your top 3? What's
yeah,
your must have from a Memorial Day get
I'm
together,
gonna
whether
get
that's a
hate.
barbecue or an
I'm
outing?
gonna get so much hate on mine. I think that mine's so
Are you
untraditional. I think mine's so
are you
traditional.
choosing banana cream pudding or are you going with watermelon?
I
I'd
think
be interested in how it differs though.
mine's so untraditional, and like I said, I think I've just as I would have probably said like burgers and hot dogs. I probably would have kept it super, super simple. But I've gotten to a point where I know what I like now. I know like if I saw that there, that's what I'm going to eat. That's literally what salsa. I always go salsa. If there's steak over burgers, I'm going to choose steak. And then
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And then dessert. If there's banana cream pudding, I'm gonna get banana cream pudding. That's just I'm always gonna try someone's banana cream pudding. So that are like my go tos.
I thought about like steak tips because those are great as
Yeah,
well. But again, there's so much that goes into getting them right. So you can have a really great steak tip or a really bad one that's overly cooked. Burger, yeah, most people know how to cook a basic burger. Can you overcook it? Sure, but it seems to be like a go-to regardless of when we get together. 100%.
I agree, and that's gonna go into our next part, is that I wanted to know if there's any because since it's Memorial Day, just it's about a remembrance, but I wanna know if there's a memory that you have of, like, a really good time that you had in the military of, like is there a party that you remember going to that was, like, just a party as in barbecue, that you remember going to that stands out in your head at all? Anybody's house, doesn't matter where it's at, could be in Germany, could be Vegas, could be in the last place that you're at in, what was it? Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
in New York,
Yeah,
the
New
last
York,
place there.
yeah, and
Yes. It's tough because, like, my memories are terrible. Everything kind of meshes together. I remember moments, and I remember some of the people involved, but the feelings is really what makes the memory for me. So, like, when I was stationed, first time away from home, I joined the military from New Hampshire, and I got stationed in Germany for my first base. So, going over there, you don't have your family around. So
yeah,
you really heavily rely on the people that you're serving with. You build great friendships out there. So you spend a lot of time just getting to know them as people and they become your family
yeah,
essentially. So I spent 4 years out in Germany. So for us, not just for Memorial Day specifically, but for any holiday, getting together with buddies and just kind of meeting their families, their kids, in that environment it kind of just built that memory for me, and it kind of established like this base for me of what the military was all about. It says, hey, we may not be blood related to you, but we're all in the same situation. We're in Germany together, and we're going to be a family while out here together. And those relationships have really carried on over the course of my career. Like I still talk with a lot of those individuals from Germany. And it's just a testament to the mentality that military has, and it really brings and it speaks to Memorial Day as a whole. And so yeah, that's the memory that sticks out for me. How about yourself?
There's one in particular, and there is one where we did like because back when we had like, this is actually in Vegas, and I don't know if I'm trying to remember if you were there. You were probably there. I'm assuming you were there. We used to have parties at my house, and we used to have karaoke. We used to have that dance thing that we used to do on the Xbox,
I do
and we
remember that.
used to have barbecue as well, and we'd watch the football games as well. Like we do a little bit of everything, and I do remember those memories like of Walker, DJ Thompson coming over too as well. I'm not sure if you remember him. He'd sing, he's a pretty good singer. I was actually shocked when I heard him sing for the first time. Like I was like, oh wow, he's actually really good at it. Doing karaoke. I just remember times like that were fun for me. That was like probably some of the best times I had. I think doing stuff like that, throwing parties at my house, and I think we've done it for situations like that as well. Just whenever we had like little bits of time off, we did stuff like that. So I always like being a host. It was always fun to do that, make the salsa, do all that fun stuff, and invite everybody over. So that was probably, we had pictures of me and you like taking shots.
I still have that picture.
Yeah, I do too. It's on my Facebook. We had taking shots together and stuff. So that was always really fun. I always had a blast doing that. We always me, you, and I would always drink rum too as well. We get you cracking for your birthday and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember getting you some nice rum. Just cool stuff like that.
Yeah, in Vegas, we always had a core group that, would get
Yeah.
together and just have a good time between the dance whatever game that we used to play and just make fun of each other doing that. It was always fun just to get together, have a couple drinks, kind of relax, get away from the work itself. Yeah, 100% remember those moments.
Yeah, I think those are my most fun times. Not last thing, but I mean, one of the other things I was gonna ask you is, what is your most favorite draft you ever had, like your fantasy draft? What is like one memorable draft that you've had that you like was extremely memorable?
It actually, I think it happened. So Bobby Witt, I had been tracking Bobby Witt. I know there's a lot of trash talk in some of the other ones, but the excitement level around, for me, Bobby Witt, someone I had been watching play in high school, in college, like I was tracking this guy, and I must have been the only one because that year in the baseball draft, I had picked like number 10. It was towards the back end. And knowing how Bobby Witt is now, I must have been the only one who was super excited about getting this guy. And just watching him go from pick one, not get picked in the first pick, the second pick, the third pick, and make it to pick 10, the level of excitement associated with that. And when he finally fell to me, knowing who he was and what he was capable of, I was so pumped. And now, obviously, I'm a huge fan of him. I never got that excited about any player that I've ever drafted. I'll be honest with you. Um, so in terms of players and the excitement around it, that moment. And
Okay,
then
so
outside of that,
yeah.
the draft that we did, the NFL draft in the hotel room with Nito.
Oh, that was
Do you
fun.
remember?
That was probably that's probably my favorite one that we've done. That was my favorite one that we've done. That was
That was I've never done something in person like that. Like I've seen a lot of people do these in person drafts where they get together with
I
friends. You
love the
don't
in-person drafts. That's
I do as well. And I didn't know that I loved it until we actually did it. But when we got into the hotel room, it was chaos. It was just everything that you would expect a draft to be with a bunch of military guys. But a lot of memories there.
I think the other one for me, there's one more that stands out. It was the very first one I did, and that one we did with paper. Oh yeah, we had to submit it. We actually did it with paper. We had to scratch out everybody. We didn't have stats available at all. It was my first year playing, and that's when I did my that's when I did my best. Like actually going through and having to pick it on a paper, a spreadsheet of the number one
Wow.
draft, and actually having to write in player you picked. That was for me. It was more nostalgic. Like I'm glad I did it once like that, but it was like
Yeah.
I don't ever want to do that again. That just it took way too long. I never want to do that again.
I was
But
going to say, how long did that take you?
it took forever. But we were spending the night at Creech at the time, so we had all the time in the world.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
We're out there sleeping for 3 days at a
yes.
time. So might as well do a draft.
Yeah, literally, it was like when they first started doing it too, when we spend the night there, is when I did it with Yama. and did it that way. But like I said, my top two favorites are probably that one and Nito's thing. Even going to his house, we did one at his house too. That was a lot of fun. I overall, I think that was a lot of fun doing that. So those are probably my favorite ones that we've done. I wish we could do another one like that. This year. It sucks that I can't, be there for that, but it's gonna be cool just doing.
It's it's so difficult now, especially when you're looking for the a specific type of person to be in your league,
Yeah.
someone who's going to be active and checking all the time. They're going to maybe do trades here and there to find someone who's not trying to cheat every single time. But when you get randos, you can't really do it that way. So everyone, we have a group of people that are competitive. We know we can have a league of guys that are competitive every single week, but getting them in the same location for a draft is nearly
It's
impossible
so
because everyone's in
impossible.
a different state.
Yeah.
So
It's
I would
so
love to
hard.
do. It's just it really isn't a realistic opportunity option that we can move forward with.
But yeah, there's one more question I had for you. Now I completely forgot what it was. I got totally off subject. We're talking and it was those are really good memories. Like I said, is there anything else you could think of that you want to bring up that was a good one?
No, like in terms of like the drafting stuff, a lot of it lately has been the online stuff.
Yeah.
With even with family and friends, it's not as fun. It's very in through the motions. You don't the chat. There's not a whole lot of banter going back and forth. It's kind of lost the appeal of it. If we ever get an opportunity to kind of pull it together where we can get everyone to fly into a centralized location, whatever that looks like, would love to do that, of course. Um, just know that realistically, it's probably not going to happen.
No, especially not this year. I don't think I could do that this year. But I will say it'll be fun to do. I'm excited about our draft this year. This year with like Nito, we gotta come up with how we're gonna do that. Like I said, it's gonna be a cool segment because we're gonna talk about obviously when we get heavy into that, that's gonna be a huge part of our life, and it's probably a huge part of our podcast. I honestly think that's when it'll start to pick up even more, just because we'll be talking about prospects or even people that we might be drafting, which is going to be really weird because it's going to be a little difficult. Or maybe post draft, we're going to talk about our reason and why we picked this person. So,
Yeah.
that might be a really cool thing to do. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have
So
to take some notes as we're doing the draft, and then it'll be essentially draft day analysis post draft.
yeah, I
Yeah, but
think I
yeah,
think my teams always get rated so bad, and I'm like, I think people always underestimate me so much. It's so like because how they on the NFL thing they actually do a post draft like how well you did grade, and I
yep.
always get graded so low. I get rated like out of 10, I'll get rated like 8, and I'm like, man, maybe I did terrible. I'm like always like
Um,
questioning myself.
on the opposite side, I always draft really, really, really well, and I never win, ever in football. Never. I don't understand it. Like, hey, you drafted A plus, and it will give me a reasoning behind all of it. And I'm like, all right, well, why didn't I win then? I didn't even make it out of the third round.
I always feel like the
Uh,
very first person is always going to be the biggest contender. I always feel like the very first person that picks ends up being like the top person for like ends up getting the playoffs. I've never get first. I don't think I've ever been first on a draft or even top five. I've gotten like 5 through 8 or 5 through 10. Basically, I've gotten every one of those. I don't think I've ever gotten like on 1 through 5. I don't think ever.
I don't know if I want the first pick because you have to struggle with, do I want to take McCaffrey, may not play a full season or not? You know, so the last few years, I don't want one. I would rather have a middle pick or
I want one.
something
I want to
towards the
do
back
one. I
end.
want to know what it feels like to pick one first pick.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll talk to my brother. Maybe we can throw you up there, and then everyone
No,
else
no,
is
I want to do it.
randomized.
If you guys do a randomizer, I like, my luck falls where it's at. I feel like if I change anything or if I try to adjust it, I feel like, karma's gonna bite me, especially when it comes to like stuff like that. I'm like, whatever draft I fall into, whatever randomization I fall into, let it be. You know what I mean? As long as it's not
Yeah.
like anything crazy. Yeah, I would like to, you know, if it's randomized, I don't mind. I don't mind. As long as everybody's just randomized.
Yeah, it'll start kicking up here in short order, and when it does, it's going to be chaotic. I can't wait till the NFL season kicks off, and we can start drafting and start
It's
researching
way more
players.
exciting. It's way more exciting than I think any of the other ones. I've tried doing basketball. I've tried doing baseball. It's just not as fun. It's just there's too many games to take care of. And I'm
Yeah,
then I'm like one person's sitting out. I'm like, geez, I didn't know he was gonna sit out today. Like he didn't sit out yesterday. He sit out today for some reason. Like dumb
yeah.
things like that. I just oh man, that was driving me crazy.
NFL to me is easy. just because there's not as many like superstars. Where in baseball, anybody who comes up gets called up, they could be a contributor on your team. And there's so many games, and it's such a long season. Same with basketball, such a long
Yeah.
season. NFL, you're talking once a week. Check your roster to get on game day. It gets you excited about the day itself.
Yeah, because
You
I'm
can
like
jump.
anxiety all day long. I have anxiety the whole
Yeah,
day. Like I'll be watching
I'm
people like just it's just stressful. It's stressful to watch
I-
football.
I'm down by 10. I still got this wide receiver, but he's an average hit or miss guy. Is he going to get the 10?
Dude,
You
I'm
know,
so frustrated with Travis Kelce because like I watch like I'd be at like somewhere and be somewhere gone. And like for the first two quarters, I'm like, why aren't you freaking paying? Like, why is he not passing the ball? Like, what's going on? Like, and then like the last quarter, he get like 12 points, and I'm just like that was the most stressful player to have on my team because he'd only
yeah.
score like he'd get one touchdown and like maybe two passes in the last fourth quarter, and then I'm like that would stress me out. Like it just I would try to watch the game like no one's passing to him and he's passing to and he's like dropping the ball or not catching it.
Yeah.
I'm just like it's like stressful the whole time. It's like so annoying. Oh my gosh, dude.
Well,
I am not.
I'm looking forward to it. I love the anxiety of it, not on game day, but like drafting the correct way and doing the research, putting in the time to find out, and then get your injuries to your best players in week one. And then you're like, oh, the season's gone already, just like that.
I know, and I've been talking so much trash to your family. I actually have to do well because now if I don't, then it's gonna look like an idiot.
Oh, you absolutely have. You better perform. Otherwise, you're going to hear it from everybody. They have your phone number, so they're going to be texting you throughout the season. If you lose matchups, individual matchups to them, they're going to be hitting you up. Be like, hey, what happened? Week one,
I
you lost.
I always say my strength is never in the first couple games. It's always midseason. That's when it kicks up. Every year, every time I've ever played and I've done well, I've always lost in the beginning. I've never had a good start to any of my seasons ever. I don't think it's ever been like that. It's like by game 5, I have it like, okay, now I kind of have an idea of where I want people to be at. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited about this year, dude. It's gonna be fun.
It doesn't even matter, dude. It's championship or bust for you. If you don't win a
Yeah, I know.
championship this year, there's a lot of pressure on
Against
you.
you or
If you don't win a champion,
on either
if you
team,
don't
like
win, yeah, if you don't win, there's a level of trash talk that comes at you from whoever beat you and knocked you out, whoever that is. So
yeah.
there's a high expectation for you this year.
I,
So good luck.
Yeah, I talked so much trash to his family during his especially his brother. Like now I have to actually like beat him like and make sure I actually beat him because I hate losing to them. It's like it is the worst. It is the worst losing to them. So you know what I mean? Because he always rates his team really high too, and I'm just like always like I have to beat you now. I can't let you beat me ever. Like it's just never. I'm so competitive with you guys. It's so funny. But you guys are the only ones I really get that competitive with. Like so we're gonna see how this goes. It's gonna be interesting.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to talking about it with everybody who's following along, especially given our analysis based on the players that we're drafting and then how the season's going and unfolding. Whether Danny's still, is he crying in the background because my brother and I are trash talking him and my mom jumped in on it,
I
or
plan
is
on
he
making
winning?
videos too. I'm gonna make videos. I'm post them inside the thing. I'm gonna talk. We'll have it. I'll even show everybody on here. I'll make little videos like it was on like on that. What is that movie called? Or that show called that was doing that too as well. The League is that what it's called?
Oh,
No,
yeah, the show.
the Fantasy League show that was like going on for a while. I'm gonna start making
I
videos.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna make videos talking all kinds of trash. Watch, we're gonna play them for everybody too. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna do it on all the things.
Yeah.
Jeff Perrin too as well. If we get on a team with him, I'm gonna talk trash to him because I think every year normally I never worry about Jeff ever. Like I've never had to worry about Jeff ever. He
I
probably
haven't
doesn't even
played it
know
in
who
the.
I am too, because like I recognize his name just from like the fantasy leagues that I've ever played with him on. Because you always bring him
Yeah.
on there, you always bring him on. But I remember beating him almost every game too. So
Well, I'm sure he's looking forward to it as well, and I'll let him know that you're gunning for him and you're going to win against him as well. And maybe I'll give him your number so you guys can text each other as well.
that's gonna be funny. But is there anything else
But
you
yeah,
want to talk about, man? Is there anything else you want to bring up? That we were last bit of little time, and anything else you want to bring up at all?
no, I mean I kind of stopped watching the NHL side of things. I'm not really sure where. I know that Carolina moved on and Avalanche lost in
Yeah,
their series, which was crazy. So the Knights are in, and you
yeah,
liked them, and they're playing the Carolina. So who are you taking there? Because you liked both.
yeah. Um, Man, I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to look this up because I'm gonna have to watch some highlights. I want to see some highlights first before I make it. Who are you picking?
I'm going Carolina. Carolina's been a juggernaut throughout the playoffs. Yeah, they lost the first game to the Canadians in this last round, but I think they underestimated them and then they lost that game. But honestly, I think the Knights are good, but I think that the Hurricanes, it's their season. I think they're just
I
too
think I
good.
was going for Hurricanes over. I think I was going for Hurricanes over Knights. So I think I'm gonna stick
I
with
figured you would.
Hurricanes.
I figured you would. I know you liked the Knights, but I think you spoke better of the Carolina
Yeah, I'd have to
Hurricanes.
review the video again, but I'm pretty sure I had Hurricane over everything. I think I had Hurricanes for the win this year. I have to look at the
All
thing now.
right.
I have to watch what I put. And I think I had Spurs for the win this year as well. So I had Hurricane and Spurs is who I had for my two people. I'm gonna watch the first video just to make sure. Maybe someone correct me on it too as well. But I'm pretty sure I had Hurricane winning the season.
Well,
But
and just an update as we're talking here, OKC is winning by 1 midway through the 3rd quarter, or yeah,
oh no,
3rd quarter.
oh no.
Oh, San Antonio had a lead. It was like a 8-point lead. I think in the
How
last
many
quarter.
fouls?
So,
How many fouls?
oh, I
That's gonna tell us right there if they're gonna win or not. I can tell you right now who's gonna win.
let me double check here. So team stats. Actually, it would be under box score. So personal fouls called. So San Antonio has 12 against them. OKC has 18 personal fouls against them. Or wait, no, 8 and 10. So San Antonio has 10 total called against them, and OKC only has 8.
Okay.
I'm going to look at free throws taken as well. Free
And who
throws taken is 7 of 8 for San Antonio, 6 of 10 for OKC currently.
Oh, okay, so not as there's still a lot of time. At one point, it's not a lot. That's I mean, if it's a close game, I figured
Tied
it's gonna be
now.
a close game. Yeah, it's gonna be a close game. So that was
Yeah.
already that's gonna be expected. I'm still going for Spurs. I'm still calling it Spurs. I still going Spurs. I know you're still going OKC, but I'm still going Spurs. I'm riding the Wembanyama train. That's how I'm going on that. I want him to win this year. I want him to do well.
Well,
So
here's the hoping. I want the same thing you want. Just realistically, I feel like I got to go with OKC, but we'll see. We'll definitely talk about it next time
who
for
did you
sure.
pick for winning it all? Was it Pistons?
Um, I think I had the Celtics. To be honest with you, I feel like I had the Celtics.
That was a bad bet.
Sure was. Sure was.
So you already lost, so you're not looking too good on that.
No, terrible, terrible.
Statistically
So
speaking,
it's the teams that
I
that I
picked.
picked that lose.
It's the teams
What's
that
that?
I picked.
Yeah, I'm not. Mine are the ones that lose. So I went with the OKC. So maybe that's the true. It'll come true.
Wait, and with hockey though, there was two Canadian teams that were still in the league in the league for this. Or who so did Avalanche beat the Canadian team that they were going against?
Oh, Canadians played against the Hurricanes,
There's two
and
Canadian teams still in the playoffs though, wasn't there?
so the Knights played the Avalanche, the Colorado Avalanche. So that was in the semis. I don't know what the quarter. I can't remember what the quarters were. I know Toronto was probably in there for if
Yeah,
I remember correctly.
I thought there was another Canadian team still going through it. But yeah, I do have Avalanche winning. And
Well,
you said
they lost to the
the
Knights.
Knights, yeah. That's who I had winning. So then Knights, I think I didn't have Knights winning. I think it was Avalanche. So I'm wrong on that then. But I
All right.
did mention Knights. So, but
Well, you got Carolina still, so see
I'm
how it
wrong on
goes.
both. Maybe
But
I'm
yeah,
wrong on both.
that's all I had. I wanted to drop that in there
Yeah, that
while
was
we had
good. That
some
was a good
time.
update. That was a good update. I'm glad, like I said, still going for Spurs. Go Spurs. Woo! I should post this video immediately then. Oh, dang, it's 9 o'clock. Never mind. Well, that was a good time though, man. Dude, I didn't mean to keep you so long, dude. It was a good pod, and I think it was we did good, man. It was good, good time.
Did you already stop it?
No, no, no. Just letting everybody know. If you guys have any questions for us, please again put in the comments. We will respond to everything. We got to respond to Nito's comments as well because we did not do that yet. So we will do
Sorry,
that here
Nino.
this week, probably today. and go from there. We are going to be posting on TikTok. We post on Spotify. Please give us a follow on those platforms. We will be posting all that stuff probably tomorrow to TikTok, and then we will be making shorts here soon. We just got to figure out how we're both going to do that. And that, with time and all that, he's got a still busy schedule. So do I. So second we get a chance to do that, we will do that. Appreciate everybody following us. We got to 200 subscribers, 250 subscribers actually, based on one video, I think. And right now we're headed in the right direction, I think, for this. I don't think it's going to continue too much with that one video. I think it's slow down a little bit, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But getting 250 subscribers is an accomplishment, especially on YouTube. So I just want to congratulate you, Upham, and myself as well. This we got to at least 250 people following us, and I think that's really great. So that's all I want to say.
Very
And
exciting.
yes, yes. And any last words, Upham?
No, thanks for everything so far. Look forward to what the future holds, and keep commenting, throw some ideas out there, and,
Yeah,
and we're more than willing to talk about it.
definitely some ideas. Any input or anything like that you guys want to talk about? Any topics really aren't you know untouched, so we're willing to talk about pretty much anything. So just give us some topics to talk about, and we will try to address them. Any specific questions or any debatable questions you guys want to talk about, we are willing to talk about. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for following, and we will see you next week. Bye.